Welcome back to Procrastination Garage. My name's Matt. Alright, so what did we do this week? Well, the dog and I, we spent a day up in the mountains exploring some roads in the green F-250. And then the rest of the time was pretty much doing yard work. Replanted some trees from up around close to the house down to the lower property. And we cut down a dead tree. So I hope you'll sit back and watch the video. And when it's over, please hit the like button. Or if you want, hit the dislike button. But if you're going to dislike it, please tell me why. See you at the end. It's Wednesday morning around 8:30 a.m. and I can say so far this week we haven't done a whole lot. Haven't done any mowing, although it doesn't look too bad out there. Have done some watering. That's about it. Spent time in the house doing some straightening up and stuff. So today is a good day to get out and do something. So instead of working around the yard like I should, dog and I are going to take a trip to the mountains. But before we go, we want to turn one of the sprinkler lines on to let it run while we're gone. And we need to do some sprinkler stuff first. I said I usually don't use the filters in the little pop-up sprinklers. There is an exception. There's one area where I do use the little filters and they clog up fairly quickly. So about every 2-3 times I run the sprinklers, I got to replace them. So let's do that before we turn the water on. The area in question is right along through here. I've got a few pop-ups. So what I found is that if I don't put the filters in, that the little sprinkler heads clog up. And then if I do put the filters in, they still clog up, but at least they're easier to clean. So I'll go ahead, there's about 10 of them, I'll go ahead and get those swapped out. These are the filters I pulled out. You can see how clogged up they get. And even down in the hole where I pull them out, there's still a lot of dirt in there, so they clog up again fairly quickly. This is why I keep a bunch of extras on hand, so instead of pulling them and cleaning them, I can just swap them. And of course, one sprinkler head, this one here, was buried down in the grass, and I had a hard time finding it. I need to raise this one up. Whether I get to that anytime soon or not, I don't know. All right, let's get the sprinklers turned on. The reason I put in so much effort for the cherry trees is for this time of year here. They're not quite ripe, but they're getting close. They're edible now, but they'll get purpler and they'll be much sweeter. Since the plan is to take the green truck today, I've got to unhook the trailer from it and then clear a path in the driveway so we can get out. So I'll get that done. Before I drop this trailer, I want to pull it forward just a little bit because it's pretty close to the area where my sprinkler is going to be running. Sprinklers on, doing what they're supposed to. All right, now let's head to the mountains. All right, we're rolling, and this time when I say we, I mean we as in me and the dog. How you doing, Skeeter? Yeah. Anyway, we're going to head up Chinook Pass. I think we're going to go back up on Bethel Ridge and maybe drop all the way over to the White Pass side if we can do it. We're kind of taking the back roads this morning, taking the old highway into Natchez, Washington. We're just about into the little town now. Welcome to Natchez. Just exploring a road I've never been on before. Don't think it really goes anywhere. They've got some nice little dispersed camping sites up in this area. Well, the best laid plans were not where we thought we were going to be. We just kept following the road, and here we are. And stop for a minute because I think the dog wants to go to the bathroom. Yep, there she goes. So anyway, it's pretty up here. Look at all the purple flowers over there. Not sure what those are. I'm not a flower expert, but they're pretty. I love being up in the mountains, and I love recreating with four-wheel drives, motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, but my passion is snowmobiling. So when I'm up here in the summertime, I'm always looking for places that we can snowmobile in the wintertime. And right over there is kind of an open meadowy area, and I don't know where that is, and I want a snowmobile over there. In fact, I think I can drive over there. As I was coming up, I could see that area, and I could see some roads that are over to the left. So I think there's a way to get there. So I need to bring the UTV up here and do a lot more exploring. I can't get there from this ridge here, but I bet I know how I can get over in that area. So we're not going to do that today, but certainly want to come up here and do some more exploring. I was going to turn around right here, but in looking at my map, it looks like that straight ahead is a Forest Service road that's not too far away. So maybe this connects to it. And right after I said that, the road gets more four-wheel drivey, let's call it that. And while we could keep going, it may reach a point where it gets a little too tough for this big truck. And this is more side-by-side friendly territory. So I think we'll turn around here and go back the way we came in. All right, we're turned around and headed back. I forgot my tripod today. I was gonna do some other shots and I just flat out walked off and left it. So what's interesting about this truck is that with the 5-speed manual transmission, gas powered, it's a very capable 4-wheel drive vehicle. What's working against it is the fact that it's long wheelbase, kind of wide, doesn't have a locker in the rear. You know, it's not the perfect, and it's a rough riding beast, but it'll go quite a few places and get you out of trouble. So I do enjoy that about it. There's a better view of that little meadowy area I was talking about. And I don't know if you can see down below, there's a road that comes across. And if you look over that way, there's some more roads there. Maybe you can see them through the trees. There's something way off in the distance there. Maybe it's a cabin. I've got a friend that has a cabin somewhere up the Rattlesnake, and I wonder if it's in that area there. Anyway, it's all just gorgeous country up here once you get past the burnt trees. This is the trail or road we've got to go down. It's pretty steep. It was kind of a white knuckle thing a couple places because it's you get a little close to the edge and as steep as it is. That's what we saw from up above, that cabin right there. And in looking, there's another cabin back in there. Now, what I haven't forgot is how you get to them. There's a road right down here, but it looked like it had a locked gate on it, which is possible. It may be that only people have the key or the people that have property back in there. Although there may be a way in somewhere over that way that we haven't come to yet. So I don't know how many cabins are down here. That one there looks pretty fancy. And then a friend of mine, I know his probably isn't that fancy. And how many more are down there? I don't know. I'd sure like to find out though. That certainly is a pretty area down in there. Lots of trees, you're on the river. I love that cliff behind there. Man, oh man, I would love to own a piece of property down in there. Although what I don't know is that, do they own that land, or is that, if it's Forest Service, it could be leased land? I don't know. Welcome to the top of Devil's Table. Well, I say the top, we're pretty close. The road keeps going a little bit over that way, but it is one rough road, especially for a leaf-sprung F-250. So we'll come back with a side-by-side some other time, but I've been trying to get up to this place for, well, I want to get up here in the wintertime for the past 3 years and didn't know how to get here. Now I know how to get here, so maybe we'll get it done. But as you can see, it's a drop right there. So you don't want to go sailing off that way. But over this way, it's just a huge open meadow going down. And so that looks like a lot of fun on a snowmobile. So that is our goal. Pretty neat. Dog and I are going to take a lunch break while we're up here before we head on down again. So that over there is Bethel Ridge. And the radio tower is right over there. And we snowmobile over in that area. So you drop down just off the other side of that and it takes you down to Highway 12 in White Pass. Whether we get that done today or not, I don't know, because the road to get there runs out through there. So we got to get all the way back down. I think I have enough gas to do it today. Last time we were up here, I was running low on fuel, where I thought I was. Turned out I probably wasn't. Anyway, pretty neat area up here. We just finished lunch. Well, I just finished lunch. The dog, she doesn't eat when we're out and about. I can't even get her to drink water most of the time. She's such a timid thing. Anyway, I'm looking at this road here, and I almost wonder that if I continued on, if it would actually circle back to the main road. Because I did see a road that turned off that was kind of a, we'll say four-wheel drive-ish looking route. And I just wonder if that comes up and around. But I'm not willing to drive on this road any further in this direction because it really has gotten rough. So we're going to turn around and head back. This is when I wish I had the side-by-side because it makes short work of these kind of routes. Next trip. Yeah, we're back on a decent graded gravel road now. Truck likes this much better, much smoother. Even then, it's still a little rough. I think back that road is somebody running a chainsaw, and maybe illegally. I've seen signs of some trees being fallen that are live trees, and that's a no-no. And so I'm guessing somebody's poaching wood for either a sawmill or maybe for firewood, but I don't know why you'd bother cutting these big trees down for firewood when there's lots of down stuff you could get. So I don't know. I'm not going to go back there because I don't want to run in on somebody, but they shouldn't be doing it, maybe. That road that I was just pointing at, also, that's what I'm thinking may circle around and go back up to the top where we were. I don't know. I'm going to find out though. Well, not today. See right there? That's one of the stumps of a freshly cut tree. Back out on the main road, main being in quotation marks, this is the road that goes up and over Bethel Ridge, and that's what we're going to try and do now. So way up there on top of that ridge, I believe that's Devil's Tabletop. That's where we were. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say this is Rattlesnake Creek. Got some people camped over there. Looked like a good spot to camp. There's a dog right there barking at me off and on. Hi, doggy. I said I was going up and over Bethel, but I made a detour. I'm not there yet. I'm not headed up that way. That's all right though. We'll get there. A few minutes ago I passed a big orange sign that said road work ahead. And boy, I guess they've actually done some grading up here. I'm trying to figure out what these little rocks on the side of the road that are painted orange are for. They're not spaced very far apart. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's working up here today or not. Well, I guess that answers my question. I see a roller over there. Well, truth be told, I'd like to see them work on the lower part of the road where it's so washboardy. Maybe they will. I don't know. I think this area up here gets pretty muddy in the springtime, so maybe that's why they're working on it. It could be, too, they're getting ready to do some logging up here and need to improve the road before they pull the logs out. Because I would guess if they pull logs out, they would go out this way over here. Because this is the closest way to Highway 12. And I think they'd probably take them over to the mills in Packwood area. Well, this dirt work here is pretty fresh, so I would guess I'm going to meet somebody up here. If you were watching a few videos back, we came up Bethel, and this is where we had to turn around. Actually, the dog and I hiked up to this part. We turned around about 50, 100 feet behind us because we ran into snow. But snow's all gone now. Well, I wasn't smart enough to pick up my phone and take video, but just passed a road grader. Luckily, he made it easy for me to get around him. So we won't run into anybody else between here and Highway 12, I don't suppose. Well, at least not construction vehicles. That's the tower we were looking at from that other location. And we'll get closer to it because the road actually runs over near there before it drops down to Highway 12. And that road right there runs back to Timberwolf. And that's a good place to snowmobile. You look at all the burned trees there. That area completely burned. And I'll tell you what, the first time we came up here on snowmobiles the next winter, we were lost. We came flying right by here, didn't even know that that was the turnoff. It looks so much different. Just went over the top of Bethel Ridge and now headed down the other side towards Highway 12. Way over there, that's the east end of Rimrock Lake. And there's Rimrock Lake again. We're getting lower in elevation and closer to the lake. On Highway 12 and headed home. So I have a problem. I have several of these pine trees that are growing up around around the house that don't belong here. They came from those trees down there, I presume, or something. Anyway, this one here, it's pretty big. I'm not sure I can salvage it, but I've got this one here. And now that I'm looking, I see there's one right there. And I think that's probably one right there. There's that one there. And this one here. So instead of just killing them, I'm thinking maybe we can try replanting them down by the pond. There's no guarantee they're going to survive, but at least they'll have a fighting chance. Whereas if I just dig them up and do nothing with them, then they're dead for sure. So let's do some replanting. I don't know. What do you think? What are my odds? I'd say 20, 25%, but let's try it. So what do you think? Is it going to make it? Odds are against it. This one I have the least hope for, which is too bad because this is the biggest one, and this would be a real coup if it started to grow. And this one over here, this is the one that was growing partially underneath my little shed. It doesn't look like much. This one, it wouldn't surprise me if it actually lives. This one here has a reasonable shot as well. So basically I've got three over on this end of the pond. I got this one, the big one, and then just beyond it is the mangled one. And on this side of the pond here, which is kind of opposite over there, I've got this one. I think it's got a reasonable shot. And then I've got one over here. This thing is just a little itty bitty guy. It may or may not go. I don't know. And then same thing over here. Another real itty bitty one. Notice I got flags around all of them except for the big one. See, this is just a little itty bitty tiny guy. So it may or may not make it. So anyway, I've got this sprinkler here. I'm going to leave set up and run it all day tomorrow. And then you may have noticed over there by the big one, I've got a big sprinkler set up over there. So we'll let that run as well tomorrow. And all we can do is just wait and see. So the pond itself is looking pretty nice. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on video because my camera quit working earlier today. Not sure why, maybe it got hot. But I had 4 ducks swimming around in here. Mama and 2, we'll call them teenagers. They weren't babies, but I'm not sure they're able to fly yet. And I almost think that they're living down here and that they may have hatched here. Every year I've got a couple of ducks that come in here and visit quite a bit, but they've never laid eggs here. But this might have been the year. I'm hopeful. So when I first saw them, they were over in this area here. And then I saw them over by that tree over there, which I'm not sure what that is. Is that some kind of willow? I don't think it's a weeping willow. I'm not sure what it is. Anyway, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, and I'm hoping to get them on video. So that's it. Let's move on to something else. So I thought I'd sit outside and do some editing for Procrastination Garage. And I got thinking to show you guys what I got for my birthday. My wife and daughter got me these 2 camp recliners and a little chair. It was a set, came from Fred Meyer. Anyway, I'm looking forward to taking it camping, but for now, I'm just going to use it out here. And we're just going to sit out here and we're going to watch the traffic drive by and edit. So this tree here died last year. About midway through the growing season, it just started, leaves started dying, and it looked like it was dead. And I thought, okay, let's give it until next season just to make sure that there wasn't something that just caused it to lose its leaves last year and maybe it would come back this year. It was a long shot, but you know, I hated to cut it down. Anyway, here we are, June. Obviously the other trees around it are green and that one's not, so it's time to bring it down. So we're going to cut that down today. It's Sunday afternoon, trying to wrap up a video, and we figured this would be a good thing to put in the end of it. So anyway, I am so confident in my tree falling skills. I'm going to fall it directly opposite of where we're standing. And I'm so confident that I can do it no problem. I'm not even going to move my truck. Yeah, you believe that? So we're just going to do it. And there's just the slightest of breeze here. You can see the top of that tree moving just a little bit. So it's not going to be a problem. That thing's going to fall right where I want it. And we'll miss the truck. And if we hit the truck, this video will go viral. And then we'll get some money from YouTube or something. So, but anyway, yeah, we're just gonna do it. So let's get some tools out. I need both my chainsaws, big one for cutting the tree, and then the small one for doing some limbing and for cutting it up when we're done. So let's get to it. I think that gives me enough room to work around it. The wind is actually blowing pretty good, and it's actually kind of blowing towards the house, maybe towards my truck a little bit. It's all right though. I'm a pro. I can do this. It's just the chain is really dull on it. Okay, so that was far from graceful. Lots of mistakes made. Biggest mistake was I didn't check to see that this saw was sharp before I started. Last time I used it, it seemed sharp enough. I don't remember when I last used it, so maybe it wasn't. And also the chain wasn't tight, so that caused me some problems. And then I'm not sure, well, trying to use a little saw, cutting from both directions. You can see where my hinge is. I got below it on this side, and I don't think that was helping me. Otherwise, the hinge itself isn't too bad. I cut a little too much into it there. And then I think the wind, there's just enough breeze to keep me from pushing it over. And then I tried pulling it over by hand, and it wasn't high enough with the rope, and I didn't want to bring a ladder out or anything. You don't want to spend a lot of time around a tree that's nearly ready to fall down, so a little time as possible around it. So I thought, well, worst comes to worst, just get the ATV out and pull it down, because that's how I typically do it anyway. So again, not a pro, and of course, look at what I'm wearing. I don't have any of the proper gear on. So now we got to cut this up into stuff we're going to burn and stuff we're going to make firewood out of. Okay, I'm not done, but I'm making good progress. I got lots of firewood cut up, and these big branches and stuff, they need to just go on my little backyard burn pile. And I'll probably work on some of that tonight. And then I still got to cut this up. I got to cut that off. And there's some more in there, but until I get it thinned out a little bit, that'll be hard to do. And to do this, I need the big chainsaw. I need to sharpen it. So that may happen tomorrow. But you're not going to see it on this video, so stay tuned for the next one. That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, the #1 goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, to get me out in the shop or out in the yard or up in the mountains, out doing something so I'm not sitting around watching YouTube and TikTok all day. Down in the comments, tell me about the projects you're working on, or better yet, tell me about the projects you're procrastinating about. I hope you'll hit the like button, I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope I'll tell your friends, and I hope I'll see you back next week.